Hi everyone. I'm sure you are getting excited on how much we can achieve. In the last episode, I was discussing the interplay between the mind and the brain. For every effect there should be a cause. There can be no result without a causative factor. So there is a behavior, and the behavior or action or the human action is triggered by the brain process. Then I said the brain is controlled by the mind. But the most relevant question is, how do I control my mind? I explained to you that if your mind program is transferred to my mind, then I can see the same thing as you are seeing, or I can understand the same thing as you are understanding. The question is, how do I get your mind transferred? Way back in 1997, I transformed, or I really discovered something very relevant which I have been missing all these years. As a head of personnel, as an educationist, I was responsible for the behaviors of others. As a head of personnel, when there is indisciplined behavior, I have to bring in discipline. Right. Now, then we were looking at various ways of correcting a human behavior, mostly by manipulation. There is a difference between manipulation and modification. Supposing I ask you to stand up, and you may perhaps accept, because as a trainer, I have the authority to make you to stand up, or I can make you to sit down, I can make you to stand up again. But after a period of time, you'll start wondering, why is he asking me to stand up? I explained to you already that we are not just human beings, but we are also meaning-making beings. So there is a link between the mind and the brain. What is the link? The concept which attracted me most towards the end of 1990s is the concept of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Way back in 1970s, two great people in United States by name Richard Bandler and John Grinder popularized the topic of the concept of NLP. N stands for neuro, L stands for linguistic, and P stands for programming. Neuro is brain related. I kept telling you that our actions are decided by the brain function. If the brain is not functioning, I don't see, I don't hear, I don't feel, I don't taste, and I don't have any relevance of the five senses, right? But then how my brain is activated, my mind gives a command. Now the mind has to be influenced. The mind has to be programmed. If it appeals to my mind, then the brain will respond with an appropriate command, for which linguistic, the use of language, is very, very important. The letter P is taken from the computer science. If you buy a computer, it is not useful unless you know how to program it. Now, in a computer, you have to get a predetermined specific output. Let's say that you want a printout of a document, Control P, and the print has to come out. If the print is not coming out, then you go and verify whether your input is okay. If your input is not okay, then you input again. Then you check with the computer and the printer whether it is functioning, the process is there. If the process is not there, maybe there is a loose contact, go rectify it, and then the print will come out. The printer could be in the next room, but still you are sure, if you are sure that your input is okay and the output is okay, your input is okay and the process is okay, you take it for granted that the output will be there. For example, you send an SMS, right? You know how to send an SMS, you know that your instrument is very good, and you know the mobile phone of the other person is also good, then you don't go and verify, did you receive my SMS? You take it for granted. This is the concept on which the computer system works. The NLP principle says that human system is also based on this input, process, output factor. Now you see something, all right? And if you see something, just because you see something, it doesn't mean that you understand. If you hear something, it does not mean that you are understanding it, right? And there is, what shall I say, there is an interface called the mind. Let's take the example of a tape recorder. The tape recorder also, let's say, receives the sound signals. If you put a tape recorder in front of a wise man and gives, let us say, 2 hours of wisdom speech, it does not mean that the tape recorder will become wise. All right? The tape recorder just mechanically registered sound waves. But the human system cannot depend on this sound wave registering technology. The mind has to interpret. This is the concept of NLP. In the future episodes, we are going to go through various applications of NLP. Let me give an example of how the mind and the activities are interlinked. I was reading a small anecdote. There is a house where there is an elder brother and an younger brother. The elder brother has a mental problem, mind problem, that he has lost his balance of mind, right? The elder brother. The younger brother is normal. A postman is bringing a telegram, and those days when SMS was not there, email was not there, telegram will be delivered. And both of them, these brothers, do not know how to read, so they ask the postman to read. The postman opens the telegram cover and reads, "Father passed away, start immediately." The elder brother hears and he breaks into laughter and say, "Father passed away, father passed away," which is inappropriate to the news. The younger brother breaks down, thinks about the days when he spent with his father, and breaks down, cries uncontrollably. Now listen, the words are the same. Father passed away, start immediately. When the postman reads it, there is absolutely no emotion. It is something like a tape recorder replaying the pre-recorded message. The elder brother has problem with his mind, and so he doesn't understand what is the significance. But the younger brother receives the information, the mind processes the same, and he knows what is it, he breaks down. As far as the postman is concerned, no emotion. The elder brother has not relevant emotion, is not in a position to process the emotion, but the younger brother has a link. This is the concept of how the mind and the human system are interrelated. Stay tuned. I promise I make a difference in others' life. See you in my next episode.